Hargreaves, chance for Torquay. Chris Hargreaves, the captain. If he stays offside, Carlisle checks instead. He's looking for Benyon. Sells.
Hello and welcome to this week's Goals Eye View. Plenty to talk about. Typical Torquay United, dramatic two games as usual. And we've got Rachel, Tom, and Clive joining me this week. Welcome all. So, Torquay have ended the away winless streak last night, but we're going to start back on Saturday. Oh, what? I mean, we all know how it ended, but there's so many other things to talk about in this game as well. Let's start with Rachel this week. Rachel, thank you for joining us again. Let's talk about this first half of that game, actually, and how this sort of 4-3-2-1 and the man Zanzara up front with the brilliance of Jay and Young in behind worked like a treat. Go for it.
First half, possession, movement. We were keeping the ball on the ground as much as we could. I noticed Boreham were quite happy to deal with the hoof ball aspect, but and once again, this is a sort of a common trend with Torquay. We play it better when we keep possession football and play it on the ground, ball to feet, passing. You know, we've got the players who can do it. So it's when it sort of got to about 25, 30 minutes into the first half and the ball started to sort of, it was like sort of Mary Poppins football, wasn't it? There was a lot of aerial stuff. And so I don't know whether is that sort of Boreham Wood style, or, I mean, they've got some talented players, haven't they? First half, beautifully worked goals. Both goals were just, passing moves and finding pockets, finding spaces. All was hunky dory in the first half. The Gull'S nest, they've got extra staff behind the bar, so that was even better. My brother was with me. I had my niece, my nephew, birthday boy, and that, and everybody was. It was such good vibes that first half. My brother was amazed though that you can get 2 pints for under a tenner. But then I suppose that's one good thing about the Southwest, isn't it? Not the water rates, but the beer prices.
I really liked the formation. I was sat there thinking, finally, it really works. Getting Matt J because Zanzara's so good off the ball, like so good at battling, but the way he was dragging defenders left and right, it's sort of stuff you don't really notice in a way. I can't even think of a shot that he had in the whole game, really, but he just did such a good job battling, which allowed Jay. I mean, it was a gift, their first goal from a loose pass out. But Jay is he's just a League Two player still, and he's a very good League Two player, in my opinion, still. Like the skill to find that through ball outside the foot to sort of split the fence. And Jordan Young's got it all to do, You've got Ashmore's one of the best keepers in the league, if not the best. And he just stroked it calmly past him. And that's the football. That's when it really works. And it really works in the first half because we've got a very good defence at this level. The midfield worked well, sort of sat back, sort of Hayfield in front of a defence, which allowed Jenkins Davis and Hassani, who I thought did very well more from a defensive aspect because him and Carson were doubling up. And even though they did get a bit of freedom at the start of the first half down on Carson's side, I think them two together worked very well, in my opinion. And it just seemed perfect. At last, I felt that we were getting somewhere. 2-0 up half time, two fantastic goals. I mean, Jay, just the confidence to not pass Hassani through when he was so through, to stroke it into the corner like that, just unbelievable.
Can we go back? Sorry, to the build up for the second goal, because Will Jenkins Davis does absolutely brilliantly to get that tackle in to set us up for that second goal. Tackle. Fantastic.
Hold on for remembering that. Yeah, incredible. He had the best game he's had by a mile since he's had his zone extended for me. Well, one of his best games in Torquay shirt. I thought he's absolutely immense. Clive, anything to add on that first half?
I'm still just trying to get my head around Mary Poppins football, Rach.
In the air.
Let's go fly a kite.
Realistic expialidocious, weren't we, for 45 minutes? But I mean, come the end, it was for the birds, wasn't it?
Second half, Clive.
Yeah, we played well first half. Great. Yeah, it means nothing now, of course, does it?
Got a point.
True.
Go on, Clive. Go into the second half then. Go on.
Okay, so
Yes.
In your own time, Clive.
I'm just trying to phrase my Saturday night, because what actually happened was, at about 5:45 on Saturday night, I turned my phone off because I just didn't want to engage with it anymore. Because what we just witnessed was a proper old school Torquay United cock
Yeah,
up.
I thought the same. I was livid.
I was brought up on that sort of stuff, conceding late winners. I am not a tactical.
Or equalisers.
Yeah. Well, no, to be fair, it was usually winners. So we're making progress, aren't we? Not much sense either. The word around the campfire was that people were very unhappy, weren't they, about Torquay dropping back deeper and deeper. We've ended up with 5 across the back and just trying to hang on to what we
5 attackers, in fairness. Yeah,
we managed to do very well in the first half. Yeah, certainly part of it was a reaction to their halftime subs, wasn't it? As I said last week, Boreham Wood have got enough money and every right to come to Plainmoor and play well and get a result, and that is what happened. Ultimately, we weren't good enough to hang on. It may well be that perhaps we should have been trying to get more on the front foot. I was quite interested. I think it was last night's interview by the manager. He talked about sort of, getting too deep. It wasn't that at all. It was the radio commentary, in fact, that I listened to on the drive home, and they were saying on there, like, teams don't do it deliberately. Sometimes the game just goes like that, and you're on the wrong end of it, and you do get pushed back. Yeah. I don't think we should slaughter them too much for some sort of deliberate kamikaze effort. I mean, I just think Boreham Wood are a good side, and they showed it second half.
I tell you with you, Clive, my problem is more like the game when we had the ball. That's what really bugs me. Fair enough in back, because if you've got 5 attackers on, this is another thing. I was at the same as you Saturday night, livid. Everyone was livid. Everything. Oh, we've done this wrong. But actually, when you reflect on it a little bit later, you think, oh, hang on a minute. I was more angry at the fact when we had the ball, we were just panicking in that last 5 or 6 minutes.
This is the thing. We needed cool heads, and it's not just a case of Boreham Wood suddenly did bring on some attacking players, but we had some possession. And we were losing the possession. The passing went to pot. This was the problem. So the players that in the first half we were, Jenkins Davis and Asani, and we were relying on them, and also Jay and Young, and the pinging the ball about. Suddenly, they couldn't find each other. And how come all of a sudden the basics of a passing move was lost on them. That was my confusion.
That was my complaint.
Possession. But they
we just couldn't get it to stick, could we?
No, that's the problem.
Came on. Cody Cook had about 20 minutes to go, and it was probably his worst performance of the season. He'd taken a horrible knock on the Tuesday.
Absolutely.
He'd had his nose wiped off his face, hadn't he, at Western? But he did look off it, and I don't think he trapped a ball all game. And what that meant was it was just wave after wave. They were good enough. They celebrated that equaliser like they
won the World Cup.
It meant a lot.
There was a move, I think, probably on about the 85th, quite late in the game. Musa did brilliantly. I mean, he's had pelters, but there was a move, and we both sort of thought he took on 2 players out of defence. Was almost like willing Cook to move forward. Cook looked like a rabbit caught in the headlights, got the ball, did not know what to do with it. And of course, he pondered, he dwelled, and then I think he just passed it to a Boreham Wood player. And I had my head in my hands at that point. I'm thinking, come on, it's the basics.
Those are the moments where you've got all your defensive players doing their jobs, and then it needs the attacking and creative midfielders.
Precisely.
Their job is not so much tracking back. Their job is to, when you have the ball, you keep it and you bring us up the field and hold it. Like, that's the thing. Like, everyone's giving Musa stick for the moment, but in my opinion, yes, it wasn't great. You either don't dive in or put him in the pot side. But it was the moments before that had annoyed me, where we'd lost the ball 4 or 5 times, where we signed Musa to win us games at the end of the day. Jay, Cook, they're us to win us games. You know, if you want all like holding, just sign 11 holding midfielders, if that makes sense. That's what I want. They need to bring the ball at the pitch. So I'm not criticizing someone as much for that. It was just the whole thing that it just fell apart. We need to. It's the game management. I agree. The easy thing is say, oh, we just sit back, we made defensive substitutions. Yeah, well, you kind of have to in a way, but because we were just under it. But it's when we bring it out, it's not this.
We set our stall out like the second half. It was just,
not good.
It was whatever was said in the team talk at half time completely went to pot. I mean, the substitutions, we made 5 subs. Did we really need to make 5 subs?
Yeah, the only one I kind of was a bit about because it was, I get sports science, so I'm really into that too. When it's the 87th minute and it's Jenkins Davies, I'm like, well, technically you've got like 5-10 minutes to go, and he was working his socks off. Like that's the only one we've kept on personally. But yeah, I think it's okay to be reactive with subs. My problem was it went to pot, and I think maybe having the 4 back and then having the midfielder in front was working with doubling up. All of a sudden, because you had Carson and Hassani in front, all of a sudden Krask and then Carson in front of him didn't work as well. So when he got past Carson, Krask being like a left centre back wasn't working enough. It's almost like they should have gone to a flat 5 just for the last bit and just say, yeah, keep 2 of those players up front and we'll deal with it then. It just didn't.
I have to say, I was worried when Dreyer came off, to be fair, and that was quite early on into the second half. I don't know whether that was tactical, whether that was just he picked up a knock, but he's such a big player at the back to lose there. And, you know, we all know what Boreham would have liked. They're a strong physical outfit. And to be honest, they should have got a goal early on in the second half. He's hit the woodwork and then missed a sitter. I mean, that was alarm bell should have been ringing right there. And we had 1 or 2 chances. I think Thomas had one that the keeper just about saved, and then there was another towards the end. But other than that, we really didn't offer much in that second half. And as soon as they scored with 10 to go, then you're fearing the worst. And with 7 minutes of injury time, we were literally just hanging on there, weren't we? And, you know,
it's fine margins though. The thing is, we say all this disappointment. If that goal doesn't go at the end, we're all sat here going, "That's a heroic 2-1 victory. We've done it. We've done it."
But it's naivety from us in that moment. Like it's Slough all over again. We had ample opportunities to clear it, to get rid of it, put it into good positions in our own half, and we just give the ball away. And then it's just silly mistakes. And you know, a draw against Boreham Wood, before the ball was kicked, would have been a good result on paper, but felt like a loss. That it was just I felt so gutting at the end.
You see how much it meant, like because everyone was angry. Like this just seemed to see like Paul Watson the way he sort of collapsed to like the ground. It was just one of those, and you've got their bench going. I mean, that's what sport is. If you're a neutral, that's what sport is all about, isn't it? It's amazing, brilliant thing for neutral. It's a good advert for the game as well. And this is part of football. You know, this is a big part of it, and that's the drama of it, isn't it?
My big worry throughout that game, and I know I'm in the minority here, but I felt Carson at left back. I felt, yes, he battled, but especially at times in that first half, I just wish he would position himself better. I wish that he would get a bit more closer to the defender. Hassani did his best to kind of counteract that. But I'd say you need Falston back. The sooner we get Falston back, we are going to be so much stronger. And that day can't come soon enough for me.
I do feel at times.
I think he's still learning.
He's still learning. I feel he's a bit of not so much for you, Tom. Sorry, I feel he's a bit of an easy target at times. Like I don't know. I feel like he's a bit naive at times, but he does an awful lot of good as well.
And what more do you want?
I know. I think he's a very good developing player. Actually, I think I do really like Carson. It's a National League South left back at the end of the day. He's not gonna stop every single cross and block ever. You got to kind of he can be a little bit weak at times, but he's learning and it's part of it.
Yeah,
I know. It's a team game at the end of the day. It's a team game, and it's not just one person who's like letting the team down.
Brings a lot to the team going forward. Yeah, and it is a trade off. I think if he could really defend as well as bombing on, we'd be looking at Roberto Carlos, wouldn't we? But
he'd be in League Two probably.
Yeah. It's not the first time I've not rated a number 14 for Torquay United, I must add, though. I didn't like the number 14 last season, and I know I'm in the minority on that, and that's fine, but I call it how I see it.
It'd be boring if we all had the same opinion, Tom. It's fine. So it's okay. Right, so after that game, the fallout, it wasn't great, was it? It was one of those games, it was, as Clive said, a real turn your phone off. Like, I just did not want to think about Torquay United for a little bit, to be fair. I was very angry and I think hindsight is quite good, actually. Again, it's a good thing we record these 2 or 3 days after sometimes, because I think my review have been probably quite a lot different to when I've actually thought of it a bit deeper. But it's no lack of effort at all. It's no lack of effort. I think it's just so frustrating because it's again it's so frustrating when the same mistakes happen, isn't it? And when you think we're just getting close, we can do it and we're capable. I just want to see us believe in us, though. That's my thing. My takeaway, if I was recording this now and forget last night, I just want to see the players believe in themselves a bit more at times. Like going for, I want to see us attack more. Really good team. It's a really good team. I know we haven't got the biggest budget. It's a really good team. We've got Matt J, who's a very good League Two player, and he can win any game in this division on his own, let alone with some very good players like Jordan Youngs and Zala, Kirk, and all that around him. So I don't have this fear. I just think we need to believe in ourselves. We've got 10 games to go now. Absolutely go for it. Attack, 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 to be honest. And if they bring 5 on up front, well, it's keep 5 back and then let the others attack. Because that means we've got less going there as well. This whole thing, like bring 5 attackers on, it also means we've got less defenders. So if you do get into that transition, you can battle them out. Like the Eastbourne game, that's what Moose is there to do. He comes on, we're 1-0 up, he beats 2 men, scores 2-0. And that's how you win the game. You don't sit, and hope that we don't concede.
2 things I can say from Boreham Wood to end it on that one. One, I love their pink away kit. Very reminiscent of the Torquay one we had a few years ago. Still love that kit to this day. And 2, they bought an awful lot more away fans than I thought they were going to bring. And fair play.
God's sake, it was 80, wasn't it?
Do you not agree, Clive?
Virgin on 100 is a result, isn't it? I think. Come on.
Clive, let's go into shipping them away. Go on, Rachel.
Keeper, was he wearing that was a little bit of conjecture?
It was yellow.
It was orange.
Thank you.
It was yellow.
Thank you. I had the whole pop side. I had the whole pop side against me, convinced it was orange. It was yellow.
It was kind of orange, but it's basically yellow.
It's yellow.
It was a slightly darker shade of yellow than we were wearing. What it could have allowed us to do was punch a couple in the net and get away with it, but unfortunately we didn't.
We didn't get in there half. So in the second half,
refereeing again, innit? It's like, was it the first day of the season? Dorking turned up at Truro and nobody colours Truro wearing.
And then we had Hampton in our goalkeeper kit as well. Yeah,
absolute tin pot nonsense.
It is. Yeah, get us out. Anyway, into the next one. Chipping away. Clive, you went. I had it on stream. Did you have a stream?
I streamed it.
I was listening to the official radio comms.
Cool. Right, so
I think it was Ian Brown and
Mark coming in.
And good grief. Anyway,
I'll come back to that, Rach.
Well,
apologies to Harry Salvage there.
You had Ian doing his professional best to be. Sorry. No, I was just saying that it was Ian Brown.
Yeah.
Good singing.
Doing a really good job, I might add. Just with this screaming all of a sudden, and I thought, calm down, lad. What's that advert? Was it Michael Winner? Calm down, dear. It was one of those, but yeah. It was a strange thing, but I sort of acclimatized to it after a while because I thought it was very sort of verbose. There was this frantic sort of. I think Ian obviously had the team sheets and he was getting all the names right, and I thought that was really admirable. But and all this, that was a lovely move there. And the next thing you know, you've got Mark Jenkins Davis, Cody Cook. For the last 10 minutes, every single player was Cody Cook, to the point where the scorer is Cody Cook. So yeah, that was an experience.
5 seconds into chipping away.
Hello, Mark. Loving your work. Chipping them away. Well, like if you lot watched it on the stream, you had a better view than I did, obviously, because I was behind the goal. Was
it worse than Weston?
I can't see a thing at Weston Way. No, can't see a thing.
They've got a proper terrace behind the goal. They've got 2 Portaloos. They've got a tee up. I mean, what more could you want, really? So we start brilliantly, frankly. For about 10 minutes, we really turn it on. And Zanzala's running riot. First move of the game, he nearly bulldozes his way through. After 9 minutes, he gets slipped in down the left-hand side. Really intelligent run. I don't know if he bent it or it's diagonal to stay onside. Squares the ball. Less said about Thomas's effort, but Carson,
great assist.
Matty Carson was on hand, so sod
That's
you.
my left wing back. Go on, Carson. Do me proud.
1-0.
Silence the haters.
To be fair, Chippenham.
I've got plenty. Don't worry, mate.
First half, they played well. They had a lot of joy down their left-hand side. George Dawes, or whatever his name is, the winger, did really well.
Diana, wasn't it?
Diana. And they equalised before half-time. It wasn't looking all that great at that point, and one or two of my tweets might have reflected that.
Can we speak about
was 1-1 fair in your opinion, Clive, at half time?
Can we speak about half time?
1-1
was be behind
as much as we deserved. I think Chippenham bossed most of the game after we'd scored.
Can we speak about that's a very good summary, Clive. Can we speak about half time? At half time, I was very angry. Actually, I was very angry and frustrated about everything. Right, which is very unlike me, I know. And I was very angry because I just felt that once again we've shown that we're a really capable team. We've gone 1-0 up, and then it's not. I'm not saying we sat back. We just didn't play football, and I just don't understand it. I was sat there going, "Hang on a minute. If we don't win again now, this is starting to become a problem where it's all those big second halves in football." It's why after the game I said it's probably the biggest result of the season in my opinion, in terms of trajectory where it's going to go because. I was starting to think, hang on a minute, are we starting to really waste a good chance of promotion here? Because we've got the players, but I just didn't feel like we're believing in ourselves enough. And then the next 10 minutes came probably the most dominant attacking sort of play that I've seen all season. Take us away again, Clive.
No, you're right. We hit the bar after about 30 seconds of the second half. I think that was Thomas. And ultimately, Zanzala bundles his way through. It was weird. He was sort of kind of fighting for the ball almost with the last man, and it looped up beautifully for him. You'd think maybe to volley in, but he sort of tried to knee it in. Anyway, he got the ball over the line, and we went 2-1 up. That was fantastic. The rest of the game, I wouldn't say we were massively in control of it, but we did look the better team for me. Interestingly, no subs until really late on as well. He sort of trusted Jenkins Davis and Asani to keep going. Managed to get nearly 90 minutes out of Jordan Young as well, which was great stuff. Matt Jay was a threat all night. Always looked to have the beating of a man, and he got his just desserts sort of seconds from time. It was 8 minutes of injury time. That was
so as the keeper, right? 98th minute, you're playing it out the back. Have a word with yourself. Get it long.
Yeah, I just
nonsense.
think they're getting ambition mixed up with ability, Sam, aren't they? That's the trouble. 3-1. Hassani, I thought did well, covered quite a lot of blades of grass. There was a very contentious tackle. He loses control of the ball, slides in.
I thought it was a red.
Red cards given. Chippenham were all up off the bench, obviously screaming, putting pressure off the referee. But he said, he stayed calm.
He did take his time. He did do well. If I'm up with you, stay calm. Yeah.
Yellow card. Cody Cook missed the goober of a century. People have suggested to me today it was worse than Aidan Newhouse's at Exeter City. I don't go along with that.
No.
But Youngie hit a decent shot. Their keeper looked to have saved it, but then spilt it. And poor old Cody, he was probably 3 yards out, and he just scooped it across the goal and missed the far post. But it didn't matter because ultimately we got a 3-1 win. Is it going to turn the season around? Is it going to be a big game? Who knows? But it felt good at 10 o'clock.
It's a win away from home. It's a win away from home.
Have that over us, yeah. Because we could be away in the playoffs the way it's going. The way we're going, it could be in the way.
I had the comms back to Mark Bose Kavanagh again. Is it a yellow? It's a yellow. It's a yellow. It's a red. It's going to be a red, isn't it? That went on for ages.
Yeah, I was convinced it was going to be a red.
I thought it was red on first.
No, it's a yellow. It's a yellow. No, it's a red. No. That went on for quite a while, and I'm thinking, oh, good grief.
For anyone listening on Spotify right now, Clive has just got his BBC Radio Devon cup up.
Yeah, that's what
showing his loyalties.
Yeah, I'll show my loyalties. Up Harry and Dave.
Yeah, I think on the Chippenham result, again, it's just a big mental, relief that we've won away from home. Chippenham, to their credit, put up a fight. I think we were all expecting that, although they've got one of the worst home records of the season. So yeah, they've got some decent players there, and I thought they were quite lower down in the table, but actually they're like 11th, 12th mid-table, which for them, everyone predicts them to go down before a ball's kicked, and they
They've been
always
brilliant.
see
Second in
the
form
prize.
team,
But yeah, it's for me. It doesn't matter how we've done it. We've just got 3 points, and that'll be what it'll be like for the rest of the season. We can play the nicest football in the world, not win anything, and we've just got to pick up points, especially away from home. You look at the home teams we've got left to play. You'd argue that they're more favourable in our favour, but of course, football's not played on paper, and we've got to do the job there. But we've got to win a few more away games if we want to have a chance of winning this league. And I think winning last night has kept us in that for now, but you go on to the weekend, another tough game at Tunbridge. Yeah, I thought Sani on first glance was very lucky to stay on the pitch, but on the replay, I don't think it was as bad as the Musa one at Western last week. So, but if it was the other way around, we'd be screaming for a red as well. And or the great thing about watching it on the stream was not only did you have the commentator for the TV, all you could hear was Paul Watton effing blinding and going, "Get out! Get out!"
Can we all have a GoFundMe to have Strepsils for Paul Watton? That poor man, he's gonna have no voice for him season, just saying "Get out" all year. But the way he gets the strain in his voice is very impressive as well. But yeah, I'm with you actually. I tough game in Tunbridge, yeah, but we can be. I believe just if we believe and we play like we did. I'm not sat here thinking we're going to attack for 90 minutes in a game of football. No one does. Like Man City in their peak, but like just believe and just go forwards and run with the ball like we did. We're getting Carson up there, getting Jay up there. We've got very good players. The thing that infuriates me this season, when I've just felt we've kind of just lacked that belief and felt that we've had to sort of string 30 passes together before we can get somewhere, or just have a go at it. Just run off the ball, pass and move, done. Honestly, 10 games now. We've had our kind of like great form, we've had our bad form. Just absolutely go for it now. No, leave absolutely nothing on the table. I don't want to come away from a Torquay game going, oh, we didn't quite put it all out there today. I don't care about running as much. I care about creating. I care about creating and working the opposition keeper. Look at that. We don't want to talk about the miss of Cody Kirk. Look at that shot. It was an half-decent shot, which the keeper spilled. What was the goal against Western-super-Mare? A half-decent shot, which the keeper spilled. They're not good, a lot of them. Just have work the opposition keeper. I want to walk away seeing that the creative players or strikers, they've had 2 or 3 shots each. Good shots.
Be a bit more
Just
ruthless.
be more ruthless. Just don't respect the opposition as much. Absolutely get in and believe. That's all I want to see for 10 games. And if we don't go up, win the playoffs doing that.
Yeah.
And get out! Right. Anything else, Clive?
I think it's. I'm going back to this whole the how important possession is, keeping hold of the ball, and we have got players that can do it. That's been proved, but very often it's only 45 minutes worth of passing game. I don't know what happens, whether it be a first half or a second half. I don't know why they suddenly lose the power to find another yellow shirt or another pink shirt, whatever. Was it dehisced pink? But yeah, that's what I find frustrating about Torquay, because we have got the players who have that ability, and yet we seem to just lose it, don't we? This the sloppiness seems to sort of seep in, and that's we've got the players, like you say, Sam. We've got a good squad, and on our day when we're playing that possession-based passing football, we're a match for anybody, aren't we?
Yeah. That's what it needs to be. It's not a complicated sport, really. I think football gets too complicated. My player's done 5 more sprints than he needed to. No, I just want to see good footballers win me games. Go away. Right, Clive.
Football manager expert here.
Yeah.
Well, this kind of leads into Kelly's corner, really. But I think we ought to take a moment to appreciate Mr. Zanzala. Absolute breath of fresh air. He's played in 3 games for us now, and each time you get the same package. You get wholehearted effort, but also there's end product there because he will run in behind. He will take people on. He's strong. And I think we've signed ourselves a really good centre forward there.
Yeah.
I think what I noticed in the first half of the Boreham Wood game, he shields the ball well. It's not necessarily winning the ball aerially, is it, with him? He chests the ball down well and lays it off.
He lays it off to our player.
Sorry?
He lays it off to our players as well.
That's it.
One thing's just winning the flick on, go to our player.
Chesting, laying the ball off, which, God bless Cody Cook. He's been brilliant for us this season. He's worked
as well,
like a Trojan. Like you say, I mean, poor chap's had his nose wiped across his face the Western game, but we're seeing another dynamic, aren't we, with Zanzala? And it's something sort of a Sinclair Armstrong type, isn't it? It's powerful, got a little turn of pace. And it was lovely to watch that first half, wasn't it, at Boreham? Just watching this player, not just launching and leaping up to try and win a header and try and knock it on. It was quite thoughtful, wasn't it? And again, that's not a criticism on Cook, because Cook's that style of player, isn't he? And we've used that, and it's been to our advantage in many games, hasn't it? That sort of the fact that he is powerful in the air and he can win a lot of balls in the air. If they're going to fall, if he's going to knock them on to whoever's running in. But yes, it was lovely to watch Ozzy that first half at Boreham.
Leeds had a player many years ago, was involved when they got promoted from the second division. I'm talking late 80s now. Bobby Davidson scored a lot of goals. He was brilliant. But I'll tell you what, he never got a game after they signed Lee Chapman because it was just a step up. And I think what we've got in Zanzala is Cody Cook on steroids, to be honest. And I'm delighted to see him.
The good thing about Zanzala is as well, he's a permanent signing, because originally we were trying to get him on loan. I don't know why they were laughing. It wasn't because I got my facts wrong around. It wasn't. If you suddenly saw a cut before that, I did not say, "Go, good job, it's a good loan signing," was it? It's been a long day. All right, it's been a long day.
Three games do not a season make, right? Fine. And he might be injured on Saturday as well, because he did take a knock, scoring a goal. But I have loved watching his work so far, and it's
good character.
Might be the best Congo player we've ever had.
Yeah.
Oh.
Right. Kelly's Corner then. Now, what could the question
that'll lead
be?
on to something on Kelly's Corner.
Yeah.
So this week we've asked the question: who would you prefer to start up front for the last 10 league games, and why? Would you have Zanzala, Cook, or both? And thanks to everyone who's taken the time to write in. Short notice again this week. So we'll start with BBC Radio Devon commentator Paul Mahern. Good to see you on Saturday, Paul. He says you should have put an unsure button as an option. Zanzala looks the better all-round player, except in front of goal where Cody blows him away on numbers. Sadly, I can't see either being prolific, but the modern striker is not just about goals these days. We have got the first of two Haywards. Matty Hayward says, Aussies from the Congo. See what I did there? He says, feel free to join in singing this and doing the conga at Dorking and probably Tunbridge. Cook has been fantastic all season, but Zanzala is showing more at the moment. Both will be useful. Both will start games, but Aussie gets the nod for now. Alan Will says, I think you have to start whoever is in form. One of the benefits of having two centre forwards. I feel at the moment this is Zanzala, but this would likely change to Cody at some point in the last 10 matches. The lovely Rachel Mallock says, Aussie Zanzala for movement, footwork, extra pace, linking up with midfield and our attacking force of Young and Jay. We just look a more animated unit with him. That said, Cook has worked tirelessly ploughing a low furrow up front this season and has waded in with vital goals this season. Very, very true. Wise words. Matt Late says, as important as Cody has been for us this season, it has to be Zanzala. He has more pace and his hold-up and link play is much better. Having said that, I still think Cody has a big part to play in these last 10 games. It's just nice to have two strikers who can share the load for now. And then we've got Phil Swan. Welcome, welcome, whoever you are. Zanzala is just the striker option we've needed all season and adds vital pace to the attack. Cook has battled heroically for weeks on his own in attack, and he looks jaded and out of form currently. Now we have a proper competition, and I hope to see a revitalised Cook after a rest.
Good him, isn't
Staying with the family tradition, we've got Ian Hayward debut, I think, on Kelly's Corner, Clive.
I think so. My brother, yeah.
He says Zizi has had more mobility and pace and is better with the ball at his feet. Having him leading the line lessens the temptation to hoof the ball forward. None of these comments are intended to diminish the contributions that Cody has made, and he can still have an impact from the bench. We have got Ollie Ray, who says, I'd go with Zanzala because, 1, he seems to do everything Cook does, but is better and faster. 2, he's already a fan's favourite. 3, his link-up play is far better than Cook's. And number 4, he's the GOAT. And there is a picture of the GOAT with Zanzala's face on.
Can I say my bit, actually? Because I know having this podcast isn't enough for me, clearly. So butting in Kelly's Corner. Do you know what I would do? Right. If both players are fit, I'm putting Cook up front. I'll do it for a few reasons. Right, I absolutely love Zanzala, but Cody Cook's been a very good player all season. He's been a lone striker for a while. A new competition's coming, a bit of a different option than him. I don't think they're the same players, but a very good option. And now it's a slightly different thing for Cody Cook, where it's like, I've got a good striker on the bench here. Last 2 games off the bench hadn't quite gone the way I want, so I'm starting him. I generally believe that Cody Cook is a sort of player much better starting. I think you just give him something now to really go for, and he will be okay. I see how it is. I see talky talks. Everyone says is I would put Cody Cook now, but I know striker, you've done it all season. You've been physically battered, but he needs a big performance. But I will go Cody Cook now. I still would stick with Cody Cook, just having that stature, and then you've got a player as good as Zanzala to bring on. Also, we've got a lot of games coming up. You don't want to start playing Zanzala 90 minutes every time. He hasn't. I would just put Cook, and then on Tuesday maybe start with Zanzala. Honestly, be like that. You've got 2 big options there, but I would start with Cody at the weekends. Is my opinion, because form isn't what's the term? I'm a commentator. I've forgotten the most cliche thing ever. He's a little bit out of form, but class is permanent. And Cody Cook's Cody Cook is a very, very important player. If we get to a playoff semi-final, and we get a penalty in the 94th minute, there's one man I'm giving it to, and that's why you've got to have someone like Cody Cook on the pitch.
Yeah, bring him off the bench. That's fine. I hate doing this because he's been a warrior, and he has. But I just think that everything he does, Zanzala can do, and it's not vice versa. So I think I see Cody predominantly as a sub at the minute, but by all means, in sort of 3-4 games, if Zanzala needs a rest, we know exactly what Cody Cook can do, and he's never going to let us down.
Basically, do we know how Zanzala is though? Because he hobbled off, didn't he, last night? So. Some say, don't worry, it's cramp, or it was a dead leg. I mean, he might have really hurt himself. So all this talk, I'm just, does anybody know?
Yeah, I think Paul Watson said he was unsure, Paul Watson, whether it was cramp or something a bit more serious. But he walked off, didn't he, on last night? So I assume he'll be okay. For me, I think I see Cook as a player you want at home to start, and then away from home, maybe you would lean more towards Zanzala, perhaps. He showed a lot of physical attributes yesterday, pacey, and he got in behind the defence. Cody Cook, the first half of the season has been fantastic for us. He scored goals, he's gotten in there, but when you're battling week in, week out in this division, it takes its toll. And he's a player that defenders will want to mark out the game and try and rough up a little bit. And I think he's done phenomenally well. But I think it's been clear in the last month or 2 that he really needs someone to help with the workload. So for me, I think with the games we've got coming up at home, I think I would be more happy to have Cook starting. I think at the moment you have to start Zanzala because he has come in and he has improved us. Whether what you think about Cody or not, they're both really good players. But I think at the moment Zanzala is the one who is he's got the form at the moment. And he's made a change and given us a bit more up front. But away from home, I could see maybe leaning towards Zanzala to start. But it's a tough one. Because I really like Cody.
We've got good options, haven't we? Yeah, it's a proper squad. It's a proper good squad. This is. It's more
interestingly, no Musa last night. Didn't bring him on. Any thoughts on that?
Well, it was
saving for another game.
What we had was working, wasn't it?
Yeah, saving for another game.
I guess so.
Working. Yeah.
No.
Yeah.
And
it's strength of our squads.
Yeah, And it carries on into Kelly's corner. There's still a few more to go. But Steve says, Zanzala to start for me. He's been fantastic since he signed, offers so much more. And as he gets fitter, perhaps consider playing both. George says, as good as Cook has been for us, we seem better suited with Zanzala. I'd also like to say that Will Jenkins-Davis has to start every game for the rest of the season. There's Alan James who says, it's not a simple answer. Cook hasn't been fully fit for a while. Seeing the fuggery he endures as a single front man, it's not surprising. When he's fully fit again, rotate, as I can't see the current tactics allowing both as starters. They aren't feeders anyway. And the last one on Twitter is Disco Barry, who says, it has to be Zanzala for me. He's more of a threat than Cody. His build-up and speed and distribution is what we've needed all season. Just hope the injury he sustained on Tuesday won't mean he will not be able to start on Saturday. And then there's just a few on Facebook. Once again, thank you everyone for writing in. Steve Saunders says, relieved I don't have to tackle a question like that, but I reckon that Watton deserves a big shout out for pursuing Zanzala's signature. Fingers crossed the second goal injury doesn't deny him the opportunity of grabbing with the question. And finally, Nick Potkin says, what a tough question. I believe Zanzala may have moved ahead of Cody in the pecking order. Furthermore, Cody may have needed a little rest anyway. I can't see how you can start both. Who would you leave out of the squad?
I agree with that. Only to say that the sage, Dave Thomas, last night was advocating to play them both. I don't quite see who you drop for that either, but
you got to keep young and
4-2-4.
Come on, if you're chasing a game 15 minutes, you've got them up front and then Jay, and that's tasty. That. So yeah, it's a good option. You've got a squad with options. It's a good, very well put together squad, in my opinion. Very well.
Well,
thank you. Can get promoted now.
Yeah. Well, thank you everyone once again for writing in. Always a pleasure to hear from you all. Really enjoy chatting about this. So thank you very much.
No right or wrong answers are there. Right. Well, I suppose there are. But anyway, so thank you very much. We'll do our predictions. Have a very good chat this week as ever. 2 big games. Tunbridge away. Remember last season, 4-1 defeat. Oh god!
I heard some guy ranting towards the commentary box last time we went to Tunbridge.
That must have been about a year ago now. Let's have a look.
Can't think who that was.
16th of March. Yeah, so almost a year ago in about 2 weeks. That was.
Was George Edwards there last year?
Yeah, he was. You had a bit of a word with him, didn't you?
Was that you, Clive?
Yeah.
He wouldn't speak to me, so it was one-sided, I'm afraid.
There we are. That's the shows where we are. And now we're going back there. Promotion hunts. Here we go. Right. Predictions. All right. We start with Tunbridge away before Salisbury at home. Nice Cody Cook winner. That's Salisbury away, of course. So penalty, I know. Anyway, right, I'm going to go Tunbridge away. Sorry to be boring. A 1-1 draw and then a 2-1 win at home to Salisbury. Right, Rachel, what do you reckon?
Wouldn't it be lovely to get a clean sheet?
No.
It's a bit like the Villa, isn't it? They just cannot for love nor money get a clean sheet. So I'm going to go Tunbridge. God, boring 2-1, and I'm going to go a 3-1 for the Salisbury evening game. But
both wins, I presume.
2 wins, yeah.
Yeah, okay, good. Nice one. Right, Tom.
Yeah, I'll stick with what you said, Sam, for Tunbridge. I think that'll be a 1-1 because they've got a plastic pitch, haven't they? So I'll take that. And I think a 3-0 home victory on the Tuesday night.
Clean sheet.
Tunbridge, I think, it's an absolute classic plastic pitch away game. Not much atmosphere in the ground. I'm afraid, I'm really sorry. I think we'll get done. I think it'll be something like 2-1 at Tunbridge. And yeah, we ought to beat Salisbury. Of course we did, 2-0.
I think Tunbridge have got quite a good, decent atmosphere there.
Is Hanson still there?
Ask Chris. He'll know.
All right. Anyway, thanks for watching on that bombshell. And we'll see you. We'll see you next week.
Cheers, guys.
That's why we're an award-winning podcast right there.
That was absolute toilet, that was.
Here's Hargreaves, chance for Torquay. Chris Hargreaves referee stays onside. Carlisle checks instead. He's looking for Benyon. Sells!